So today we're going to be reorganizing my gun room slash studio, and I have a lot of problems with this room. The main thing is I'm running out of space, and I've been running out of space for the better part of 2 years. It's just progressively gotten worse and worse and worse. And just about like a couple of weeks ago, it was just giving me so much anxiety, just having so much clutter, not being able to find parts and tools and stuff that I need, that like I thought I was going to just like freak out on people and jump out of my skin. Fortunately, with my safes, I have more stuff that I have to put in them to keep things safe than just guns. Like at the top, I got a case up there that has my drone in it. And I wanted to keep my drone in here because if there's a fire, the drone would be protected. We also got documents and stuff like that that need to be protected, especially running out of room for handguns. You can see the door card that has all the pockets on it, totally filled up. I got all these racks on here totally filled up, and I'm overflowing with space for handguns. I do have a solution coming for the handgun organization in the very near future, so that'll be in the part 2 of this video that'll be coming later. Then as we get down towards the bottom of the safe on the rifle side, I am completely out of room for rifles. And then on the pistol side, I'm almost completely out of room for pistols. But if you look, there's also other stuff. Like I got a barreled upper up here sitting on top, magazines, and it's just because I want to keep toddlers out of things. Now, if we move over to the other safe over here, which is called the snap safe that I have, if you look in there, like at the very top, it's literally nothing but a couple of boxes and a ton of Glock slides, like Glock slides galore. And then if you go on down, it's just more of a mess with some barreled uppers and stuff like that. And so my goal with this organization today is to get the stuff out of the safes that doesn't necessarily need to be in the safes, like extra parts and magazines and stuff that's just taking up a lot of unnecessary space, and try to create more room in my safes for more guns. In addition to that, I wanted to have things more organized so I can actually find them when I'm looking for them. So I'll be sure to put links to everything that I'm using in the description below, just in case you guys want to check some of that stuff out. The first thing I needed to get fixed was my charging situation, because I have all these different cameras, I have drones, I have gimbals, I have phones, and I have battery powered lights, all kinds of stuff that just needed to be charged. And I used to have it sitting right here beside me on this other desk, and it was just wires everywhere. And I always tried to make it as organized as I possibly could, but it was just incredibly difficult to keep it organized. And so I copied some other YouTubers that I saw. I think one of them was Becky and Chris. They have like this cinematography, photography channel, but they came up with some cool ideas with some pegboard. And I kind of took their idea and made it my own. I ordered some metal pegboard from Wall Control. And I wanted metal for specific reasons with magnetism and stuff like that. So what I did was I took a bunch of stuff that was taking up space on my desk and I put it up there. At the top left, I have my headphones. I have a charging station. I have a basket for my camera lenses and camera batteries. I have a place for my second camera to kind of be out of the way. And at the bottom of this, I mounted up some of my chargers that were taking up the most space. I kept all the wires on the front side just in case I ever need to swap them out with a different charger. I could have looped the wires behind it, but then I would have to take the whole thing off the wall if I ever needed to change chargers, and I just like didn't want to do that. And then up here towards the top, I have a place for my Nintendo Switch, or if I want to put another device up there, I can charge that. And then I have this USB brick that's in the back. And there's like 6 or 7 USB cables that come out. And then I can just charge various things, such as the microphone that I'm wearing has this little battery pack that has a USB-C. Also, the one on camera has USB-C as well. So I can just take these off and I can put them in that basket up there and just charge them. Further on the right side of this wall control unit, I just have various chargers and wires just kind of looped up and out of the way. And this pegboard isn't finished. There's more things I'm going to add to it as I see fit. Now, one of the downsides about wall control is you can only order these panels in pairs. And so I ordered 4 panels, but I only used 3. My hope is whenever I finally buy a house, I'll be able to put all 4 of them up because it'll be my house and I can do whatever I want. On the far right side of here, I have the Marshall Ember 10 Bluetooth speakers so I can have some tunes while I'm working on stuff. And that right there solved so many problems. I just had to go further. So I ordered this 72-inch Husky tool chest, and I don't remember the model number. I'll just put the link in the description so you can see the exact one. They come in a ton of different colors, and they come in a lot of different configurations, even within the 72-inch line. Unfortunately, this was like the most expensive one that they had, but the cool thing was there wasn't much assembly to it. They just dropped it off in my driveway on a pallet, and you just took the pallet apart and rolled it in the house. And I bought this one for a very specific reason, which we'll talk more about here in a minute. But first, let's talk about the next problem I had. So as you can see, I have like a blue light that's back there. I have a light that's right here. I actually have a light that's up here shining down on me in this direction. The problem I was running into is I had all these tripods in here that were holding lights, and those feet on those tripods take up so much area that I was bumping into them. I was always moving them, and it was just really making me agitated. It was making it where I just didn't enjoy doing my work anymore. So I got rid of those, and I got these poles. I got one that's going crossway over the top of the workbench, which we'll cover why in a minute. 2 lights up there, and this one is from a company called Veripole. I'll put a link in the description so you can check those guys out. Now this pole, currently, they only stretch out to about 12 feet, and I believe that this wall is 16 feet. I had to buy an extension tube for this particular pole so it would reach. And I'm not gonna take them apart, but basically they have this mechanism. You get it where you want it, and then you compress this latch, and it puts a little bit of compression between the 2 walls, or you can make it go from ceiling to floor like I have on the one that's right in front of me right here. And I use these to clamp my lights onto. So now that I showed you all that, let me show you, 1, how I organize this tool chest, 2, what my gun safe actually looks like after I got all the unnecessary stuff out of there. So I think one of the first things you'll probably notice is up on this top shelf here, I was able to get rid of the box that had my drone in it. Got a couple of little pieces up here. I'm gonna get rid of this notebook here. This is sensitive documents that need to be fire protected. I think I'm just gonna take this to a safety deposit box at the bank and let them worry about that space, and I'll just pay them a monthly fee. I have a different kind of organizer that's coming in for these handguns, and I should be able to not only fit all of these handguns up here when it arrives, but also the handguns that are down here as well. I should be able to get everything up here and save some space down here as well. Now on the door card here, I emptied out some of this stuff, like right here in the pockets, but pretty much everything else is the same. Now moving down to the rifles and the pistols, I've created a ton of room for the pistols. I got room for more if I need them. Now I'm still pretty much full on rifles at the moment, and that includes my long range rifle that's in there. Once I can get these handguns out of the way, I'm gonna take this fella out right here, and we're just gonna get a rod system to put in here, and I should be able to fit a lot more rifles there once I get the rods. And then I might do the same thing for the pistols down here as well. Let me know in the comments who was around in 2017 when I did the video on this safe. This is a snap safe. It bolts together. It comes in a flat pack, and then you bolt it with these internal bolts. Something that I'm very grateful about is that the door on here is so slim, even though it's a pretty decent sized safe. It's meant to be built and put inside of a closet, and then you can still open the door inside of a closet. And that, because if this had been a full-size door, this wouldn't have worked. And the reason it works is because the hinge is right there. So I can still open this completely, get inside here, access the things that I need to access without interfering with this guy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this camera completely high enough, but I wanted to show you kind of how I have this organized right now. Cool thing is it's completely lockable. You have a lock for this top drawer section, and then you have a lock for down here as well. And then in this drawer here, so the thing I like about this is it came with all the drawer liners already with it, so I didn't have to worry about getting those. I'll turn this camera slightly. So in this top drawer here, I got a lot of tools. I got my torque wrench here. I got some itty bitty bit drivers here. We got a sight pusher here. Sight pusher in this bag. And then we got the AR-15 Masters Armor Kit. I love this kit to death. I'll have links over at the parts list if you want to check that out. You know, because one of my biggest problems up until now has been finding my tools and parts when I actually need them. And I'll spend all day trying to find stuff, and then when I finally find it, I'll either be out of time or I'll be out of energy to record. But I got my trigger pull gauge, I got my hammer, punch, bench block, I got another tool set here, I got my lubes and cleaners, got my cleaning brush. I have another just basic tool set right here. I have a ruler here. Over here I have a field book and a leather backing. That's gonna be for long range shooting so I can collect dope. And the cool thing I like about this is it's got soft close drawers. Isn't that nice? Kind of continuing, you know, with the top drawers. I got some different wrenches, a needle nose, some calipers, a Sharpie, some Phillips head, some files, and you know, a barrel dimpling jig. When we move down, right here I got sandpaper, Dremels, Dremel bits. Then over here, That's just instructions. Hey, so far I only got one thing in that drawer. I'll have more coming. That drawer's empty, that drawer's empty. Then I got a bunch of random bits in there for different gun parts and stuff like that. I just keep them in these organizers and they're out of the way. Then in the next drawer, this is all the Glock slides that don't have internal parts. I was actually gonna buy internal parts for all these and it came out in the thousands of dollars and I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I try to keep everything that I review. I've only gotten rid of things like once or twice. It's very rare that I get rid of anything. And when I do, it's usually because I have duplicates. I try to hang on to absolutely everything, even if it's a bad review. That way in the future, say a competitor comes out or say the company releases a different version, I can always do comparisons. And I've ran into that problem before when I got rid of something, the new version came out and I was like, crap, I got rid of this thing and I can't do the comparison video. But we got all the comp slides that for Glock and then Glock. Down there, I think those are M&P slides. We got a couple P320 slides, a couple CZ slides, and then Glock 26, Glock 43. And then right here, I got this, the original upper for my Ruger Mark IV. And then I got this SIG Legion slide because I have a different slide on my SIG Legion right now. And got that out of the way. Now moving down to this drawer, starting on this bottom row here, everything here goes to a Glock. Those are all Glock mags. I tried to sort them by largest to smallest. Then up there at the top right, I have like some 22 long rifles, some 1911s, some M&P Shield magazines. I got these Ruger mags here for my 1022. These go to my Palmetto State AKV. And then over here, we got different brands, everything from HK, CZ, Smith & Wesson, and Sig Sauer. And then I have my two speed loaders. One's for 45 ACP and other large calibers, and then one's for 9mm. I use those all the time, love them. And then as we move down, this is how I was able to save some room on AR pistols and stuff like that in the main safe. I basically put the least fired pistols in here. This could change later. This is a really deep drawer and I could actually pile more in there if I needed to. But like I said, I needed just more room in the safe. It's not that I don't shoot those, it's just I like to keep what is relevant for the reviews coming, you know, more accessible. Now moving over here to this side. So in this drawer here, I got some EDC stuff here. I got a couple of flashlights and then all my, not all, but a lot of my different everyday carry knives. And then as we move back, got some ammo in here for my bolt guns. I got my bolt gun handbook that I'm reading right now. So I can learn more about bolt action and long range shooting. And I got a couple of other little pieces back there that don't need to be mentioned because it's nothing really. Then in this drawer, we got PMags. I fit as many magazines in here as I could. It's a very shallow drawer. And we got 1, 2, we got 5, 10, 14 PMags in there. Then in the next drawer, these are AK-47 mags. Just a few of those. I have a random brace right here and a random worn mount right there. And then down here, I got more AR-15 magazines. Didn't quite take up all the space, but it took up quite a bit. And I still got room for more if I need them. Same thing in this one, I got room for more. And then down here, I got a drill and some power tools and stuff. And this thing still isn't full. Now let me show you what the top-down view looks like on here, because it's gonna be pretty awesome, I think. So this is where we're gonna be doing a lot of the footage here for the course. I am gonna set up a second camera angle for close-up stuff, but as of right now, you can see you can get a really good top-down shot, and you can get quite a bit in the frame here, like that's a 16-inch, or that's a 14.9. Overall length 16-inch. This is the new Geisley Super Duty that I've been testing. I will have a review coming out for it, just an FYI. But as you can see, we get a nice top-down shot. Let me show you the coolest feature about this top here. It's gonna blow your mind. Now, one of the main reasons that I got this tool chest instead of the other 72-inch tool chests that are available, number one, I wanted the top to be wood instead of metal. That way I could mount reloading press whenever the time comes for us to do that. Secondly, this top lifts and there's storage underneath it. Let me show you. right-hand side of this is a little piece of plastic that you can remove, and then you have a crank, a hand crank, or you can get a drill and get the appropriate size drill bit and do it that way. I kind of have to pull the chest, about 5 inches away from the wall so it doesn't hit the pegboard. On the inside, there's a ton of space. Now you can't put anything in the middle because there's a brace underneath the wood that needs to fit there, but you can literally fit an AR-15 in there. Only downside is it doesn't completely fit unless all the sights are removed. But nonetheless, if you had some guns that you didn't want your kids getting to, or you just wanted them hidden kind of in plain sight, you can put them probably like 4, 2 on the front and 2 on the back, depending on what size they are. And you can fit a ton of handguns under there. And then when you're done, you can take the crank out, put the little plastic grommet on it. You can put the crank inside the tool chest and then lock the tool chest, and then nobody can access it without the key. Is this the most secure thing in the world? No. But does it solve my problems? Absolutely. And I'm really hoping that some of you guys might actually learn something from this and might be inspired to do something for your own organization as well. You're probably asking yourself at this point in the video, why don't you just get a bigger house? I'll tell you guys a little story. If you're not interested, I don't really care. You can click off the video. Honestly, I can afford a bigger house. I just don't want to pay the prices that are available right now. When we were financially able to purchase the size home that we need, 2020 happened, and we were going to buy a house early in 2020, like right before COVID. I was just waiting on my taxes to be finished so I could get approval for the loan. Then when COVID hit, we continued to look at homes. This is before prices went up. I was waiting on the IRS to send a letter to the lender so that we could get approved. The problem was, because of COVID, the IRS wasn't even in the office and no one ever sent the letter. The letter finally came through very beginning of 2021. And at that time, every house that we were looking at literally doubled in price. That sucks because we needed a very large house. And you're probably wondering, well, why don't you rent an office space? Well, the reason I don't rent an office space is it would actually cost a lot more money for me to buy a cheap house and rent an office space than it would for me to just buy a giant house. My wife and I said, okay, if prices are doubling, we're hitting a bubble. I'm talking about like $800,000 houses here in the Phoenix area went up to almost $2 million, more than doubled. And people called me crazy. I think I made an Instagram post about it early 2021 about this housing bubble. And everyone said that I was crazy. This is different. It won't be like '08, and maybe it won't. But it was still a bubble because now you see it on every news channel. You see it, all these articles on Forbes popping up about the housing bubble. It's happening. And me and my wife saw that, and we just decided we're not going to buy a house in a bubble. We'll wait for the bubble to crash, and we'll just hold on to cash, and then we'll go buy it when it's cheap. So that's kind of why I'm in the situation that I'm in. And so, when I'm running out of space and I'm running into these walls and barriers for ideas that I have, it's really just interrupted me interpersonally because I want to do things that benefit other people. I want to do videos that inspire people to look at life differently or to look at their guns differently or just change their life. And I've just been running into barrier after barrier after barrier ever since 2019-ish. And so that's what I'm working on right now. Anyways, I just want to tell you guys that story. It's stuff that's just kind of been bothering me for a while. Sorry I got off on that little tangent there. Let me know what you think of today's video. Let me know if you like the bench idea. Let me know if you like the course idea. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. But until next time, guys, I love you, and you guys stay sexy.